Hey everyone, I'm here to show you how I made my junk journal. Junk journal. Yeah, I was going to say this, but there's no other word after the junk journal. So I'm using the Doctor Who exclusive kit from Scrapping Fun Kits, and I've just pulled out all the papers out of the kit bag, and I've got that large piece there. That is the exclusive printable that Sarah has made for us. I also grabbed some white cardstock, but I don't end up using that. So I just printed this on some cardstock that I got from Officeworks, 250 GSM, and it's quite sturdy, but it's not so thick that it can't be folded, etc. So I'm going to use this as my cover, one because it's and two because it's quite large and I like the pattern and the design that is on this page. And I was thinking I might put one of the TARDIS on the front there. Back to that. So I'm just going to fold the paper, just literally just folding it in half. I'm not cutting down any of the paper, which is why it's more of a junk journal rather than a traveller's notebook, because the pages are slightly a little bit different in size, but are slightly a little bit taller. And I'm just pretty much folding it using my fingers and then just using the bone folder so that it is as creased as flat as it can possibly be on that crease. So you don't have to get so technical, it's pretty easy to make. I just thought I'd show you, and I've slowed down the sewing part when it comes up so that you guys can pay attention to the way that we sew the spine, or the way that I sew the spine, I should say. So putting it in here, and this is where papers are much more smaller than the front cover, and it's going to be too much of a hindrance. It's going to look a bit funny. So then I realised if I cut it in half, it fits perfectly, and that means I have another page for inside the as well. So where I just check, and you can see slightly that some of the pages are a little bit taller than this, but that's okay. I like that. Different sizes and different heights, and making it look really textured and chunky. So trying to work out how you can put them together with the pages like this so that you have the double page so you can see the pattern paper. But then I thought, and I didn't want to think about it too. I thought if I put half in the back of the pattern paper so it was blank on the other half of the page, then it would be much easier to put a photo and embellishment on there rather than it being just pattern paper. So I thought it would be a good idea to put Jack and didn't want to break that in half out of all the pages. And then I'm putting it together, making sure that it is held together with those binder clips. That way it's not going to move when I'm sewing, and pulling out my sewing container and getting some blue embroidery thread. So this is just simple plain embroidery thread, and I don't peel it apart. So with embroidery thread you can apart. You can use a couple of strands to make sure that it's nice and you can sewing through. You just want to make a few strands or like together so that you put 3, 4, maybe 5 strands together of the thread. Just have a play with the thickness that you're thinking. So make sure the spine was lined up. And I've just got a little pokey tool and a foam mat. These are from, well, that actually says We Are Memory Keepers, but I think the mat says that. The tool is from Amy Tan, but you can use anything that's going to poke a hole through it. I just like this because it's easier. The paper is a bit thick, so I am pushing it with my hand, and I'm pretty much just doing, roughly. I'm not worrying too much about measuring. But if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I don't really bother with measuring so well. So pull out a needle. It's pretty a big thick needle, not hugely, but enough to be able to thread the full strands of embroidery thread through, and also be able to get through the hole. Through the middle, and you hold that end because you're going to use it to tie. Then you go down from the outside on the one above it and up. Just every you're just going to the next hole above it. But if you're coming back
down to the end of that, so I'm going to go down again. In this way, you can just see the loops are forming, are filling in each hole as you go down. This time you'll continue through right to the bottom and then back up again to the middle. So
tight each time. You
want to make sure that tight so that it doesn't fall apart or move. Like if it's not so tight when you're sewing, the pages could move, and that way it's going to risk the tearing holes in the spine. But pretty much you can see I've slowed it down. If you want to just watch it without me rambling, then just mute it while you rewatch this part. And I'm just going to double knot it and make sure I pull it as tight as possible. When you knot, I just hold that first knot there and pull it really tight. Cut off the excess. The thing that I do make sure that strands and the knot stays together is just put a little bit of wet glue, and I just put the ends down flat to the other parts of the sewing, just so that it is secured and it's not going to fall apart. And that is the sewing done. So what I do is I just fold it, and I then put the binder clips back on, and this will help make sure it folds and creases and holds its shape as a book rather than but at this moment it will remain open and not fully closed. And I know I'm going to put embellishments on it and things like that, but it's nice to start with a flat book and then it to move. So you could make a closure for it where you put a bit of elastic around it. So these TARDIS from the printable that we got in the kit, I'm just going to start with that with my embellishment, and I thought the title Doctor Who. So actually I haven't even said why I'm making a junk journal. I loved all the pattern paper and I wanted to in a way that I could see a lot of the patterns and the colours. But recently with the new season of Doctor Who starting, me and my eldest went to the cinema and we watched the first episode, and every Monday we've been watching as a family of 3 in the afternoon, watching episode as it's released on ABC iView. So I just wanted to document that little time because he's so excited that we got to go. We got to experience as a pretty big deal. You don't usually get to go to a cinema to watch an episode of a series, especially a long-running series. But it was a real big change to the season, and I'm really loving. I didn't watch it religiously before, but now I'm actually loving the episodes, and I'm keeping track of it week by week, rather than before I just opt in and out of episodes whenever, if I was busy or if I was watching it and I thought, that actually drew my attention. So just adding title Doctor Who there on the TARDIS, adding in some of these wood veneer stars, and I just have a little fiddle with them to make sure they are where I want them to be. I'm just double checking if there's anything else that I wanted to add to the front cover before I commit to all the stars. So I should have had the embellishments in the frame. That would have been nice for you. But if you want to check out what's in the kit, then unboxing video, that'll be linked below. I'll post for the making of this channel if you want to check that out as well. Link below. And while you're there, if you want to check other people making with the kit and other kits that we've got going on. So November also has a dinosaur kit, and there is a December daily kit out at the moment. So go check it out, and I'm sure there's something you can find to meet your needs. So the place in the kit that has language on it, I can't remember. My son explained it in the unboxing video. He helped me because, like I said, I haven't religiously watched it, so I don't know all the ins and outs of previous episodes. So I was trying to see if I could use it with the necklace included, go through the middle of the spine and hang on the outside as a charm, but instead it wasn't working the way I wanted it, so I instead pulled it off the necklace, and it has this little ring, and I'm just trying to push it closed a little bit more, and I'm going to add it to the spine on the sewing, like one of the loops of sewing. I wouldn't want to do this normally, especially if you had bulky, heavy stuff. So if you keep it in mind, if you are going to add things like that to your stitching, that you want to make sure that it is not heavy, that it's going to pull the stitching out. The main reason you have the stitching is so that it holds the paper together even after you embellish it. So that's pretty cute. Looks just really lovely on the side there. And I'm just going to clip it closed so that it sits closed and take some photos. And I hope you enjoyed the video and the project that I made. Come back to see me embellishing it. But also, what was I going to say? Hopefully it was able to help you the stitching part of making a junk journal, because that is usually the trickiest part. Anyway, I'll catch you next time and have a great day. Bye.